Howdy lovelies, how are you all doing? Welcome back to our crafting, where we learn, grow and craft together. Today's session on tips and tricks will be on collage. Now, somebody had sent me a wonderful message, a private message after one of my videos, and as I've got the setting to review comments first before I post them, I decided not to post this for no other reason than to just be kind to that person. She said she had been trying to do collage for so long and hers just doesn't look right. Now, for me, collage is a very personal thing. There's the minimalistic approach where you literally have only a few things on the page or on your card. Even if it is an ephemera piece, it's still a collage. Or there is the approach to put as much as possible on that to fill up the space. Now, both of them have got a place in the art world. I'm not here to diss the minimalistic or the everything should go on that page approach. For me, and I know I'm a little bit different, in the sense that, and let me give you background so I can just explain that to you. A bit of a pain in the ear, I would say. If I am wearing clothes and my pants, and say for instance, I've got navy blue pants on with some sort of a top, if the blue in my pants or the blue in the top doesn't fit the pants, I will not wear it together. That's just who I am. I've always been that way. Now you might think it's crazy, but to me it just doesn't work. And in my lifetime, I've never changed, and I probably will never change. The same with my crafting. If I do a collage, I need my colors to flow, and I need my theme to be the same. You will never ever find me doing some vintage background with a modern looking piece on top of it. With that, I mean, if I can say something like this, I will not have vintage faux postage stamps or real vintage postage stamps with, say, a fairy on the same page. I will never do that. I cannot. For me, it just doesn't work. Your color should be the same. I can't, just because I love the pink flower, now put it on an orange page, unless that is what you're going for. Pink and orange actually contrast each other so beautifully. But if you're only going to have that one pink flower on that page, it's not going to work. I'll show you in a tiny journal of mine what I mean with this. You will agree with me that this is rather a pleasing layout. Somehow there's this tiny red dot that appeared in the middle, and I don't know when that happened, but anyway, I only just saw it. But it will now be forever distracting me in that spot. Rather pleasing because the colors are more or less all the same. Use this beautiful embossed world map at the back that has got the grid on it. I inked it, very nice, added some little bits and bobs to it, and I think it is a beautiful layout. Any significance with the 18? No, not truly. Really, not truly. Let me just move that light a little bit so that we've got some light on the subject. Now, I'm rather into making journals than using them. I do have a few. I don't always get to using them as much as I would like to. Also, let's look at this one first. This is quite nice. Some stamped images, some ephemera pieces, stickers on top. I kind of like it. The whole theme, quite vintagey. Bit of texture here with that Hessian-like textile that I used. Still okay. This is from my days when I started out with journaling. So this, I love Volkswagens and just all the elements, coffee, and it says, this house runs on a lot of prayers and coffee. Now, don't be afraid of your own handwriting. It's yours. And even if it's imperfect, go with it. It's still yours, and it's something that is true to your soul. So this one, all in all, okay. Love the same type of tones. Repeated the butterflies, that's from packaging material where the sticker things were in. It's stickers. You get like three long. I just normally cut it down and use parts of it. Some stamping, also parts of packaging, and I used it to say fragments of joy. So joy's all around. Find it. It's in those little moments, little things. If you're going to look for the big phenomenon, joy, you're not going to find it because it's not such a big thing that you have to go search for it. It's in the little things, and this is what I try to show here. I love pieces of paper that was remnants from another project, just the texture of it. Having all of that, the numbers, I don't know, I just love it all. And in this, it just showed me the pieces that I love, the things that I love, paper, text, all of those things is giving me joy. And then there's, I had added a bit of journaling there, the same with this one, repeated it. Love the mushrooms, some tickets. I'm very fond of tickets. Dreaming. Dreaming is a big part of life. There's that old saying that says, without dreams, there's no need to work. Without work, there's no need to dream. And dreams can be different for different people. It can be stuff that they want for themselves, that they want for others. But one of the psychological facts of life is that we all need something to look forward to be happy, something to look forward to, something to to do and someone to love or something to love. Now, some of us might be single and don't have a loved one, but might have a pet or some close friends or so. Also, butterflies, you can see butterflies are everywhere. There's a bit of a fairy, but the look is still quite neutral, still fitting in. Colored a bit of that lace even there. I did run an ink pad over it. All in all, not bad. Bit of pink, bit of green. Repeated the pink and green with the browns. The wooden tones are there. It is repeated, a bit of texture. And some of it, most of the pieces are remnants from another project. So sometimes it can be good to just use that. Here, though there's brown tones at the back, there's still some modern looking flowers. And the repetition, I love pansies, one of my favorite flowers. And I see there is that, oh no, that is a print. I just thought that was that red, but that was on the front page. Now this page, oh my goodness. It's one of those that I walk away from and I'm like, what was I thinking? And every time I open this little booklet, I'm like, I need to paint right over it and redo this thing. But it will stay as a reminder as to a day in my life where I was trying something and it obviously didn't work. And would I want to hide it? Yes, of course. I'd much rather not show it to you than to bare my soul here and show, we also make flops. And it's okay. So this serves as a reminder that not everything can always be perfect, but it's very close to perfect if we look for it. So this one, again, the browns, you know, I love vintage. Repeated the washi tape at the top and the bottom. Again, there's that fairy butterfly person with some other bits and pieces. Again, more washi tape, textile washi tape this time. Some lace. So just repeat it if you got like a double layout. This one, way more pleasing, more balanced. Almost exactly the same stuff used at that ticket, or is it a, I'm just checking if it was a sticker. I think it was a ticket in half, using the same type of paper on both sides. The colors are repeating the same type like washi tape. And then these little cookies, that is more or less the same. Some of my own printables. Again, a texture plate that I use to emboss this with, and hope. There's always hope in everything. I love polka dots. The brown just made hope stand out for me, because there's always hope. Even in the blackest of nights, we know that the sun will shine again. And that's something that is what I'm holding on to, that tomorrow might be better. And even if it's not, the day after that might be better still. So just going through here, bearing my soul with you. This is a little bit brighter because of the pink. Love that little stamp. It's a stamp set, and I've got the dies also to cut it out, so it makes it a little bit easier. Just use some duct tape to just position your metal dies so that you can actually cut it out. Nothing stops you from cutting it out by hand. This was, I don't know, I think my porch prints. I've got one of her sets, and I think this one also is from hers. Printed it once, and I'm using it, put that a bit on blue, just to have that blue stand out, because faith is also important. And then my own printables here with some paper and some of, I don't know whose stuff is this. I think it might be, let me think, DG and SVG Designs for Use. Those are stamps from Tom Hall, Stamp is Anonymous. And then more a mixture. This is also, I think, my porch prints, definitely porch prints. Then these two are my own printables. And then these ones are definitely from, and I'm sorry that I'm stopping to talk. I just realized that I've used that little saying that I just quoted earlier, and I will read it to you now. These are from DG and SVG Designs. Those two are my own. I like the pinks with the greens, which is a very old color theme that just consistently comes back. It is without dreams, there is no need to work. Without work, there is no need to dream. I couldn't even remember that I had that. This can be also DG and SVG Designs for You, or it could be from Tracy Fox. I'm not so sure anymore. And that's where I stopped with this one. I do take just a normal notebook. I'll show you. Very flimsy paper. And I normally glue some pages together just to give it a little bit more. There you can see. Not glued down properly, but it just makes it a little bit more sturdy. So there's that one for you. And then this one, I bought on one of my travels to Netherlands, I think it was. Found it there, I was too happy, brought it back home, and I have decorated the outside. It's got this little plastic pocket, then I just included this little piece, some Stamperia paper, then I just added some stickers and some of DG and SVG Designs printables on there. Just love it. Lace, paper lace that I added, and then these little corner stickers. I think my page looks perfect, even though it's a very modern looking album cover or a journal cover. So Restore journal, some memories, the roses. Vintage, for me, you can't have shabby chic vintage without a pink rose or a peony of some sort. So you will see that recurring theme, and with a pink binding, it's just standing out for me. I rounded it off with some washi tape that has got this glitter ribbon on the edge. And then here, I will just show you, I was playing a little bit. There's some more journaling, and even on here, there's journaling. So that's ways of hiding journaling. More, I have some underneath there, a letter to myself type like thing. Not going to open. This is a postcard that I just covered. Pink roses, DG. There's a lot of DG stuff in here. That's a sticker. This is definitely their jumbo square labels. It's almost like coasters. I still want to make myself a set of coasters that I can use, especially in my craft room, using this. and then some that I found on the internet, collage pieces. You see the craft paper sticking through at some places. I just love the background. And here I was just playing around with some different scraps. It was literally scrap pieces of a previous collage that I made, a big canvas art collage, and I was tearing paper, so these were left, and I tried to just mimic what I was doing on both sides with a few art pieces. These are my own. And that's where I got with this. Now today, I want to show you, this is going to be a long one, but I just want to show you where to start with collage. Let's jump in. The first place that we need to start, and that works for me. I just want to state, no, I don't know everything about collage, but for me, it works when you start off with your focal image. You choose your focal image. I'm going to use this sticker today. I love the color. The border and the little rose is almost identical. This outer edge, I've got a little bit more brown in it than the rose itself. Now, it's on this greenish background with tiny bit of stamping going on. And you know, I love full postage stamps, so that's what we're going to use. I just need to find something that we will work on. I'm bound to have something. So I'm going to use this little card. It's just A5 that I had folded in half, and I will just continue with it. So it's here on my workbench, and that is what I will use. Now, the background. Step number 2 is the background. We can make this into a tiny little pocket as we go on, but for tonight, I just want to show you how to do the collage. So, your focal point. You can see it's working out nicely, proportionately, but you can put it to any way side you want. Then, focal point is step number 1. Step number 2 is your background. Decide on your background. What do you want to include in your background? What color? I love the pink. Now, let's see if this will bring out the color. It makes that also looking pink, which is not a problem. I kind of like that. Maybe the other pink. Let's just see. It can be a combination of the two. It looks like this have got some texture. The two pinks are not the best, but I like how this picked up the browner spots in this paper. So I think I'll go with this one. I've got some fruit flies here in the house. I don't know where they came from, but anyway, they are here. So I've got some little bits of paper here. We can do some stamping. Of course, the little tray that is almost empty by now, I need to just fill it up again. There's some of Tracy and Digi and SVG Designs labels, some that I cut from a old diary, some numbers that's left, anything. We can go to the beautiful tray with full vintage postage stamps. We will see where this is leading us. So there's a few things. So the first thing, glue stick. Just going to add some glue, and to get the background down, you can use whatever glue you like to use. Don't feel you have to use what I am using. You use what you have. If you don't have pink paper and you've got purple paper, go with that purple paper. Art should be something that is getting us to enjoy life, not stress about it. And just burnish it so that it can glue down well. You can either tear this or you can cut it. I opted obviously for the pair of scissors to cut out. I never throw this away. This can be beautiful tickets or whatever, so it just goes to the scrap bin to use at a later stage. So we have that, obviously some inking to start off with. Just grabbing the vintage photo this side. It's barely noticeable, but you can. Now there you can see I did not put it right to the edge, so I'll just camouflage that by one inking and then just retrace my steps, redo that a little bit so that it's a bit darker, and that white core at the bottom, just complete it on this side. We'll ink the rest of it later as we know what we're doing. You can see there's a little bit of an overhang of the pink paper. I'll just trim that, which means I will have to re-ink because that sliver of paper that I cut off will reveal the lighter core of the cardstock. Now, decide where you want to place your focal image. A focal image does not have to be exactly in the middle. You can if you want it very formal looking. But if we take basically our cardstock and we divide it into 9 equal size blocks here, you can do it physically with a ruler, measure it out, but you don't have to go to that extent. You can just see the size of this. Now, this is more or less 8, it's just over 8 centimeters wide. So there's about a 2 and a 3/4 type like thing, and then down it is 10, 11 and a half. So more or less like that. So if you put your focal image in this middle area where those blocks are touching each other, you get this sort of composition, and then you can add your other pieces. What do I mean with that? Now I'm going to still put this on some cardstock, and just so that it stands out. Now, if I don't, it will really have that pink shine through, and I'll show you why I'll add whatever I am adding it on some white cardstock paper or something of that sort, just to solidify the color. If I take, for instance, this little piece here that has got red ink, and I add it, it will, can you see, it is literally going to be seen there through there, because this is so translucent that it actually shows up. It's almost like a vellum-like print. So we can add little things. It can be numbers. It can be anything of that sort. Number 8, let's see what numbers I have. I have been using these quite often. Maybe that. If this one was just the same size, I would have loved it. Same size? No, it's bigger. I was trying to just see. 0, 1, there's a 2. You can do the smaller ones. I wanted to get the number 14 on there. Just a significant number for me. So something like that. Maybe have it at the bottom, a more of a formal look. I just want to see, we'll add some more paper right now. Just want to get some goodies that we can use, something of that sort. Just trying to show you how I first looked at things to add before I actually add them. Now this actually fell over the other day, so this is kind of mixed up. It used to be more sorted. I kind of like that one too. The old. And of course we will add some faux postage stamps too. Also some that I printed previously. More of the dates, real postage stamps. I kind of like this, I wonder. I doubt if I have the numbers that I would want, because this color actually fits that beautifully. 18, 14 would have been perfect. It's not a 14, but let's do 12 then, instead of these big circle numbers. And yes, when you have a few things that you can use, you will be spoiled for choice. I just want to get another brownish type like label. And fragile can go on there. And then I've got some beautiful little sayings that we could also include if we so wish. So, something of this sort. Some of these are turned over. I'm just quickly going to flip through just to see maybe a few tickets. This will pick up that, but you see it really truly shines through. Ink always helps to ink the edges. And I just want to do a bit of stamping. I'll use this. Little plastic thingy. I normally use it so they almost fall apart, so that I don't spoil my work surface. So when I stamp, this is upside down, but it's fine. We'll just do this part. I like that already. Just put that back. A little bit more brown on the background. Kind of like that. This we need to just kind of actually like that look. So let's do it this way. The orientation of this focal point will be added lastly. So all our other pieces will need to be sorted before we actually glue that one down. And this was done on truly vintage paper. Just got a different feel to it. I like this. I really, really, truly like this. So we will do it around there. This one, maybe that. And which one will we say? Enjoy the little things in life. Life is better with friends. Do small things with great love. Life does not have to be perfect to be wonderful. All right. I'm going to just snip off the edges of this so that it is a little bit smaller. And this one is a tiny bit skew. There we go. And yes, you guessed it, ink the edge. How can we not? You barely see it, but it makes such a big difference. Let me show you what I mean. Let's take that one because it's the same paper and place it there for you. Can you see the difference on those two? This one just looks so much more rounded than this one that does not have that inked edge. So we've got that, and I think a little bit more paper just to make this a little bit more interesting. And I'll be using this. The glue had been open for a while, so it's a bit sticky. Everything here dries really quickly, like really quickly. Just sort of there, more or less. Doesn't have to be exactly there. And I'll just add this one to the side. You know, I did not ink the edges. And a little bit maybe of this pink. Yes, background is important for interest. Very important. I've got a bit of glue there, and the edge is not glued, so let's just lift that. Bit of glue there, and this one. Now, just to make sure we've got the basic composition still, and yes, we will see the paper there and there. We said we put the sticker there. I'm going to put that one down. And then we have the browner labels for the top part. And lastly, we will add the little quote. Now this one will shine through because it's much darker. And I don't particularly like that. So I need to get this on some cardstock or paper and just cut it out. So I'll use a piece of scrap paper that I have here and just glue it down and cut that out so that it makes more sense. And this one does not want to lift. It has previously lifted, and I don't know why it doesn't want to do it now. There we go. But I've just squashed this edge. There we go. And it will solidify this a little bit. Even if I glued it down skew now, I can still cut that out. Remember, fuzzy cutting, you basically move your paper yes, it takes some time to cut it out now. I'll just cut the rest off camera quickly. So it is cut out. I just bumped the camera. So you can see there's a few little bits of white. I'm just running my ink blending tool across that just to camouflage that white and make it look a whole lot better. You can darken it, which I kind of like with this. Just run that across. And the same this side. You don't have to sit and go into every little crevice there. These sponge applicators are really amazing to work with. And there we have it. Now you will see that it's more solid and you can hide that. I kind of like this a whole lot better. So by the way, even though I planned it for this way and have the rest, I kind of like this a whole lot better. Now we've got that. Let's see. Add this one or maybe that. So there you can see our little focal image is now more solid, and it really truly is the focal image at this point. We can add that maybe there. And just to bring in the brown a little bit more, we'll have this one here, and I think that one there. And I'm going to show you a trick where you can actually stretch your supplies by not adding the whole thing if you're not going to use this. This will now dictate where I place this later. So I just want to, there you go. So you see how that is now stretching it. We still have one for another time. Yes, you can use it either way, left, right, around, or that side. But that's an easy way for you to stretch your supplies. This is a tiny bit big for me. So I'll just see. Oh, there's another one that I've cut the previous time, which is also from this side. Can I do that? I kind of like that. Let's put that one to one side. I'll glue that down as well. Though the stamped image wasn't too great. But if I do it the other way, it will, the bit that you can see, be upside down. I want to see a bit of that pink. So if I put it there, that will show, but it's not an issue. We will just align it there. And then we have something up there. These ones will work because they will be too white, too stark white. That might work, the smaller ones. There's a tiny circle one. Those are more or less the same. So too high, we want it there. So this one maybe can go there. Let me just see if that is the look. So like I said, for me, it is starting with your focal point and then work it from there. This one we will just add in there, just so that we know where to place that. Yes, I like that. And we need something here at the bottom, so this tiny circular one will be perfect. Just filling in that little space to draw the eye down. That is my way of sorting out placement. And no, you don't have to use my way. You can literally do your own thing, but for me it just makes sense to first see where your placement would be of your focal point. And I decided to touch 6 of the blocks here at the bottom rather than the top one, so that works for me. And there's our little quote, which is perfect. Now we need just a bit of red still, so I'm going to look for a tiny little red thingy. Let's see, maybe a postage stamp for postage stamps. I made these the other day. Red, the red is too red. That, but I'm just going to make it old by coloring it so that the color will also deepen. I'll show you now the difference. And this now I've got a bit of dark brown on it, and it looks as if that is smeared, and it's all good, but that was not now my intention. But there we go. It is what it is. Let me just grab one of the others just so that we can have a comparison. And I'll put this on white so that it is easier for you to see. So there's the one that I just inked up, and I added a blotch of ink in the middle, unintentional, but there's the original. So this will now fit in more with the color scheme, though it is a total new color. I did not intend for it to be so brown. So let's see if I can color this one. And now I don't want the ink on the paper. That can easily become something else. I use it anyway to make the stamps, which I made earlier today. That one I like better than the first one. A bit too dark. No, I'm not throwing it out, putting it back in there. And maybe another red one. I have some that's on craft paper already. That is darker brown. And we will add this. That will be there. And then we can maybe add that one there. And then we can round it off for stamping. So there we go. I'll just put all of this together again. You know me, I love to rummage through my things to find that perfect little piece to add. So for here, that needs to be there right on top of that. And you can see this was done on craft stock. I'll just turn it over now. After I added the glue, you can see the brownish color. And I never know which side is right. Way up. Almost closing that, which is not the intention. So let's just check this before we put the last little one on. And I think there's a little bit of stamping needed. So let's see. Maybe the other set. Where is it now? Same set that I used to make this with today. I'll just use... not what I'm looking for. I'll just go for the other stamp set quickly. Maybe registered. Let's see what. Stamp, handle with care, charge, post office, offer stamp. Let's do that one. I kind of like that. Stamping block. And yes, the tiny one has got the stamp on that I was using earlier today. And there we have that one. So now we can actually glue this down. And then we will do that final one. And a bit of stamping. Here and there still some postage marks. The glue is really sticky. It's pulling like spider webs. Just wanting to make sure that that sticks where it should be to cover up where we cut that one little thingy that we added. Last postage stamp, well, full postage stamp that is. Put it there. Now just to add a bit of stamping, I'll just place that one there quickly. Unlike the cancel postage stamp one. Again, just that little bit of plastic to cover the work surface. Let's do the email one. And we don't have to use the whole stamp. It can just be that little bit, which is perfect. Or rather that part. Let's see. Kind of like that. There we go. And there we have a little collage piece that is sorted, the focal point. Yes, maybe a little bit boring with the linear placement of our elements, but it works when your focal point is touching on those 6 blocks. If you forgot about what I mean with the 6 blocks, remember we kind of divided this little card in 9 blocks, so it's a grid of 9 blocks. So where 6 of those blocks are touching each other, that's where you place your focal point. Whether it's right in the center of this, the top part, left or right, or the bottom, doesn't matter. Just 6 of those blocks needs to touch. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you will find collage a little bit easier with that tiny little bit of a theoretical approach as to where to place your focal point. Start with your focal point, add the other pieces, make it as interesting as possible. There were already some little dark spots in this paper. I added more with the text at the back, and then some red. You can see the reds are not the same, the pinks are just there for interest, and a bit of text on that little label as well. Thanks for joining me. If you go try this for yourself, please tag Wawa Crafting on social media if you had done so already, and it was marvelous to see your makes and that you feel inspired. If you want to see more content like this, give me a thumbs up, and as always, I'll appreciate it if you subscribe too. If you haven't done so yet, hit that little notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I upload new content. See you back soon. Goodbye.